Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Squared Circle. It is September 16th, 2014. I'm Hollywood J. Williams here with the Thunderous One himself, Mr. Tom Dacey.
Good evening, Jay.
Good evening. And John Zimmerman is off this week. Got a lot to get to, but first, we here at NHTV received some very, very sad news a couple days ago on the passing of one of the biggest legends of the studio and of North Haven, the host of Cruising Magazine, Kevin Tennyson.
Also a regular contributor to the former In the Ring, hosted by Walter Mann.
Right, back in the day before there was a Hollywood J. Williams here at NHTV, there was a show called In the Ring. It was hosted by Walt Mann and the Patola brothers, and the Patola brothers left, and myself and a gentleman also who was no longer with us, Bob McGuire, took over that position. But before I was co-host of In the Ring, Kevin went on in the ring every now and then
as Mr. Kevin Tennyson.
As a character named Mr. Kevin Tennyson, paying homage, of course, to Bob Backlund. Back then, Bob Backlund doing the whole Mr. Bob Backlund, you plebeians should annihilate your dictionaries.
And, you know, I have to share a story with you. You know, as everyone knows, my name on the show is the Thunderous One, Tom Dacey. Well, it was actually Kevin Tennyson that coined that nickname for me. Back in high school, we had a fictitious wrestling league in our math class. And we used to write up matches, and we would post the results in our classroom. And it was me. I actually had a match. It was Thunderous Tom Dacey defeating Mr. Kevin Tennyson in a match.
In a match.
And of course, at the time, our math teacher at the time was Frank Fiore, so his name was Flash Fiore. But yes, I owe Kevin Tennyson a great deal for giving me my moniker of the Thunderous One.
And it's stuck with you ever since.
Yes.
All these years.
Yes, and I don't know if you want to go to that right now, but we do have a bit of a tribute piece to Kevin.
Let's go to that right now as we honor a great man here in North Haven, Kevin Tennyson. Let's roll the footage.
Really exploding. He lost the title back a few weeks ago at Madison Square Garden, but he really is out there.
The match was fixed. He didn't lose any title. He's still champion, and the people out there that understand, that see through the bull crap here, understand he's still champion.
Let's talk quickly about Backlund. We saw him, I guess last week it was, or the week before, at Raw, come out and say to Vince McMahon that he would not retire until he put McMahon in the chicken wing. And the rumors are that there may be an altercation between McMahon and Backlund at WrestleMania in Hartford.
I hope there is. Vince McMahon would be in a lot of trouble if Bob Backlund could procure that chicken wing on him. But let's talk the whole show on Bob Backlund. Why just talk quickly?
Okay, well, we'll have words from you later on about the situation, right?
Maybe you could expostulate on that later on, why it can't be the whole show.
Sure, we will. We'll go into that afterwards.
There you saw just a little bit of Kevin Tennyson along with Walter Mann.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that brings back some memories.
Yeah, I don't know what show that was from, but
I believe that was from 1995, if I'm correct.
That was from 1995, and Nick and Back has another clip for us here.
Yes, can we go to the next clip, Nick?
In the way of Shawn Michaels. And of course, word has it the WWF will have Dan Spivey in its fold soon. So we'll look for Dan to be into the World Wrestling Federation. Now let's go to WCW news a little bit, Dick. The Four Horsemen idea may be dead, as Ric Flair wanted it to be himself, Kurt Hennig, and the Road Warriors, while Hogan wanted himself, Savage, Flair, and Sting. Boy, there's a little bit of conflict there.
I think there is.
Yeah, there's a little bit of conflict there. Why would you want to have Ric Flair as a good guy?
I don't think you would.
I'd rather have him as a bad guy with Mr. Perfect and the Road Warriors.
I'd rather see him as a bad guy.
I would rather see him with Hennig and the Road Warriors, whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. I don't want to see Ric Flair with Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan is nothing compared to Ric Flair. Ric Flair is a tremendous...
Of course, that was also another board member here at NHTV, Dick Vaughn. I don't know where Walter was in that clip, but that was Dick Vaughn hosting with Kevin Tennyson. And I also forgot to mention that besides In the Ring and Cruisin' Magazine, Kevin was an avid hockey fan. And he also did quite a few specials here on New Haven hockey, trying to bring hockey back to New Haven. And it's my understanding that the DVD now, The Last Days of the New Haven Coliseum, is going to be dedicated to Kevin.
That is my understanding too.
So have that to look forward to.
Right. He contributed very much to that documentary, from what I understand.
Yes, because he had some very good footage, you know, of some of the shows that he did here talking about New Haven hockey, which I would have liked to seen another team come back to New Haven. I was a big Nighthawks fan and went to quite a few games, and I know Kevin even continued after the Nighthawks were done, and we had the Beast down New Haven. He went to quite a few games.
Remember the New Haven Beast as well.
But
Very, very, very sad to see the New Haven Coliseum go, and he didn't want to see that happen, and he, I know he was trying to push for especially hockey to come back. And I remember when I was a kid, and I used to watch In the Ring. I was watching In the Ring before I even had the idea of coming down here at all.
I don't know if Nick can find it, but there is an actual clip in this footage which features an awful young, thunderous Tom Dacey.
He's looking through right now, but it was guys like Kevin down here promoting the wrestling news, and I was a wrestling fan at the time, and I always had a love of I always wanted to get involved with broadcasting, and my cousin James Hartman volunteered at the studio at the time when the Patola brothers, Matt and Chris, left In the Ring, and he kind of got me. I kind of credit him with getting my foot in the door and introducing me to people like you and Walt. So I mean, Kevin was a big inspiration to me, definitely.
And of course, another friend of ours who's no longer with us was also a contributor back in the day to In the Ring, and that was Tony Persia.
Oh yes.
As Joe the Mugger.
Joe the Mugger.
But yes, it was quite devastating when I got the message from Walter Mann Sunday morning about Kevin's passing. I was just in shock, and I'm still, really can't believe it. I mean, 49 years old. Younger than me.
Younger than you.
So.
And it just makes you wonder about life. Life is too short.
Yep.
Be holding grudges over stupid petty things, and it's just between that, my cousin back a few months ago, on my dad's side of the family, Gretchen. Just just gotta live for the moment.
Yep.
And we as a studio will always remember Kevin, and we'll continue on here with the Squared Circle, and we'll make it the best the public access wrestling show there is out there.
The award-winning.
The award-winning.
Where is our award?
I don't know. I mean, John usually takes care of that, and he's not here. If he went out to get it polished, I don't know.
I mean, he's not here tonight, so I don't know. I'm hoping it's in safekeeping.
I'm hoping so too. I mean, wouldn't want anything to happen to our precious award. I know it needs to be polished on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
So hopefully next week we'll have John back and the award. Definitely.
I hope so. Do you want to get to some news briefly while we're waiting
Yes,
some more clips.
let's we'll start out last night on Raw. John Cena and Brock Lesnar gave us a little bit of a sneak peek at what's to come this Sunday night at Night of the Champions, getting into a big brawl right at the end. It didn't look like Paul Heyman was going to be contacting Brock Lesnar.
No, how'd you like how he used Big Khali?
The great Khali standing guard, John Cena throwing Paul Heyman back into his dressing room and just leaving him there and giving him till about halfway through the show. And if Brock didn't show up, it was going to be a butt-kicking time for Mr. Heyman. That was the deal.
Yep.
He told him the week before, if
Lesnar doesn't show up, I'm fighting you.
I'm fighting you. And all evidence pointed to Paul Heyman getting his rear end, his clock cleaned by John Cena, but that didn't happen, did it?
And mysteriously, Brock Lesnar appears.
Just out of nowhere.
I mean, how did he reach him when he didn't have his phone anymore?
I know. I mean, how could he? Maybe one of those messages. I don't know. He just came there. But the great Khali did a number on Paul Heyman's phone.
Yes, he sure did.
Yeah, right. I think Heyman needs to reevaluate his phone plan.
I don't think he's hearing anything now.
I don't think he's hearing anything now.
But, and then, let's see, what else did we have on Raw last night? Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns, this is actually one of his first opportunities to seek retribution on Seth Rollins since his betrayal of the group The Shield. It was a decent match.
I'm still pulling for Roman Reigns.
I'm pulling for Roman Reigns. I'm pulling for Roman Reigns to be the champion come WrestleMania 31 next year.
God,
out in
I hope
Santa
so.
Clara. That's the way it goes. I mean, we keep talking about that week after week. In order for Roman Reigns to get that belt at WrestleMania 31, he's going to have to continue on this winning streak, or at least not have any decisive defeats, losses. Where it would be a blow to his game plan, his whatever you want to call it, his psyche, his whole character, who he is. Can't have that happen. But I like that he's getting the push. He's got all the characteristics you want out of a champion.
And, of course, we also saw, should we say, the skipping twins last night in action.
The skipping twins. Getting a little sick of that feud, to be honest.
What do you think? How much longer do you think they're going to go with this? They're going to drag this out for quite a while?
They're going to drag this out until maybe some other divas come up from the NXT roster, perhaps maybe Ric Flair's daughter, but we'll get to that. We have that clip of Kevin ready, by the way.
Okay, let's go to that clip.
Let's go to that clip if it's all ready.
234-0025. We're going to go to a PSA in just a few seconds, and as we're queuing that up, I want to again remind you tonight, joining us in the studio is Thunderous Tom Dacey.
Yes, Thunderous Tom Dacey, whom I wrestled several times back in the early 1980s.
And he is our research director here, and
That's
is available
right.
for correspondence on CompuServe. We'll have his address later on. But
Tom
he's making-
procured half of that tag team title back then,
That's right. Well, he's making his last appearance at In the Ring here tonight for the winter. He's going to hibernate for the winter. Actually, he's going to
For
Japan.
what purpose? What's he going to do? What do you mean you're going to Japan?
I'm gonna take you on.
Me?
Training for you.
For your training for me?
Yes.
Thunderous Tom Dacey against me.
I will defeat you.
What do you-
Actually, well,
Me?
Tom's going to Japan.
For what?
He's going to look at Aja Kong, who is a good friend of Bull Nakano, who is the
No.
WWF Women's Champion.
No, you can't do that. No.
We'll be
No.
heading over to Japan to spotlight some of the Japanese female wrestlers and perhaps bring one back as his wife. We'll see. Good luck. We'll talk
Good
to
luck
Tom.
to you, Tom.
Later on in the show, I'll have a few words from Tom as he heads off to the land of the rising sun, the Orient.
Can't
for the
do that.
holidays.
Just
We'll
can't
be
do
back
it.
in 60 seconds. Matt Patola will be here just back from New York City here and In the Ring on this Monday night. Happy holidays.
Oh my God. How young was I?
How
in that?
young were you there? Wow. That doesn't even look like you. What happened, Tom?
I don't know.
Honestly, what happened?
Really don't know. Let's see, that was 95.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have been about 31 years old.
31 years old. Yeah, maybe while we're looking at this old footage, maybe they can acquire some old footage of before I was Hollywood Jay Williams, and I was just, I don't know, using my real name, Jason M. Williams, and I was out here shirt and tie, just like Walt. But that character went a little stale,
That
just like Hulkamania did.
Yes.
And we know what happened after that. I put the black and white T-shirt on and wreaked havoc throughout the whole town.
NWO.
The North Haven chapter of it. All 4 or 5 of us. If we could all get us in the same room at the same time, of course. But
Do you have any more results from Monday Night Raw?
I don't personally have any more results from Monday Night Raw, but there was a guy. He is a fan, and I guess I take it he blogs on the Pro Wrestling Torch, the website that I garner a lot of my info from.
Mm-hmm. I know Walter Mann and I used to use that back in the day for the In the Ring show.
But he filed. It's filed as his name is Clint Dominique. He's actually a PW Torch reader. This is what he felt was the best match of the night was Rollins versus Reigns. The worst match he thought was Cameron versus Naomi.
Which I didn't get to see yet.
You didn't get to see yet. I think I was in the bathroom or something, or getting some ice cream at the time when that was going on.
I had a prior commitment last night, so I actually started watching Monday Night Raw this morning.
Wow.
So.
Hey, it's okay. So he thought that the worst match was Cameron versus Naomi. The biggest pops were Cena during the dark match. See, after the cameras, after Raw went off the air, the crowd at the Cajun Dome, which is something that usually happens after Raw, there's an extra match, was John Cena, Mark Henry, and the Big Show versus the Wyatts, in which John Cena, Mark Henry, and the Big Show defeated the Wyatts. Cena got a big pop coming out, as he usually does, because he's John Cena. And also Chris Jericho, he felt, got a big pop. Mark Henry did. The biggest heat was from Lana, Rusev's manager, Paul Heyman, of course, and Seth Rollins. So it's interesting that people file these reports on the internet and they give their opinions of the card as they were there.
It still amazes me what the WWE does with John Cena. I mean, like we said, they made him into a superhero in the Scooby-Doo movie, and now they have him speaking Khali's language.
They have him speaking Khali's language. They just feel as if turning him heel would not be what's best for business. Coin a phrase from the COO of Triple H, of course, because he does too much charity work. Make-A-Wish Foundation. He's one of the biggest asked for superstars for that. So I think sooner or later it'll happen. Just not anytime soon.
You heard Heyman made reference to it last night. Embrace the hate.
I think Paul Heyman's really trying to make John Cena the next Paul Heyman guy. Don't know about that.
That could be. But we all know who my favorite ex-Heyman guy was.
CM Punk.
Yes.
CM Punk, a man that definitely I would love to see back sooner or later.
The owner of the pipe bomb.
The owner of the pipe bomb.
I mean, like I was saying earlier, watching it today, I'm surprised, like you've said, with AJ Lee being back. Of course, we all know she's married to CM Punk. I'm surprised we haven't seen him try to make a return, or at least, a brief appearance.
Right. It's just, they're working out their legal differences at this moment. CM Punk, feels he is entitled to certain royalties from, use of his likeness, and especially in the 2K15 video game coming up, which I believe is the date of that release has been pushed up a little bit from what I understand. He wants royalties from that. And then the WWE feeling as if he breached his contract by, disappearing after the Royal Rumble when he had another 6 months left on it. So it's just sad to see. I know the guy was burned out, and that's why he did what he did. Just needed to,
One of my personal favorites, so I miss CM Punk.
Definitely. He did more devastation in the ring without touching one single human being. Just by those pipe bombs.
Now, of course, one of my new favorites now has to be the Wyatt family.
Definitely.
Follow the Buzzards.
Follow the Buzzards. That's a group that's not going to be disappearing anytime soon.
I hope not.
Right.
I was kind of surprised when they broke up the Shield. But then again, I
think they wanted everyone to be surprised. I
would like to see, as we said before, Roman Reigns get a really big push.
You'll see that. You'll see that. Mark my words, we're going to be talking about that come April when Roman Reigns gets the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate.
Of course, this weekend we have Night of Champions coming up.
We have Night of the Champions. I have the current official lineup for the Night of the Champions. And we'll just run it down and give
our predictions.
Give our predictions. The tag team belts are on the line as the Usos defend against the team of Goldust and Stardust, the Rhodes Brothers.
I am going to stay with the Usos.
I'm going to stay with the Usos, too.
I don't see them losing it yet.
Goldust and Stardust. Goldust, of course, is a big veteran.
Yeah.
Been around for a long time now, and that's his little brother, Cody. They're a good team, but I don't know if I think they're preparing for somebody big to come in to defeat the Usos. I don't think it's anybody on the main roster right now.
Right.
There's a certain tag team that, from what I understand, it's in NXT that has been given the nod to come up. And those gentlemen will be the ones to defeat the Usos, I believe, in the near future.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see, definitely. So I'm going to stick with the Usos for now. Divas title is a three-way between Paige, AJ Lee, and Nikki Bella. This is an interesting one with the addition of Nikki Bella into that match and the current feud with her sister Bray. So, my first pick is going to be Nikki Bella.
Now that you say that, I would tend to agree because I would think, being that she's with the Authority now.
Mm-hmm.
So the Authority could have another belt under their wing.
The Authority would have another belt under their wing, and AJ Lee would be upset with the Authority, and then feud with the Authority, and which could possibly, maybe once those aforementioned legal issues are settled, could forward a return of CM
Punk.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you definitely want to make AJ an enemy of Triple H and Stephanie, and that's a good way of doing that. My other choice would be Paige retaining the belt. Again, because you want to see AJ chase that belt.
Yeah. But
rather than gain the belt.
I think we're going to see Nikki Bella.
Going to go with that one.
Yep.
Going to go with that one. Also, there's going to be a peep show, Christian's peep show,
Oh, I thought we were talking adult club for a minute. You said Peep Show.
The Peep Show starring Christian with his guest Y2J, Chris Jericho. Probably setting up another feud between the two. But also the Intercontinental title, The Miz is the IC champion, right? Correct?
Yes.
Right. He's defending against Dolph Ziggler. I haven't really paid too much attention to the underbelts as of late.
I am gonna go with Ziggler.
You know, I think I'm going to go with Ziggler too. Because it's about time he got something.
Yes.
He hasn't had gold in a long time. And whatever the rumors are that he's not well liked backstage, whatever, you don't have to like the guy, but you have to like his ability and appreciate it and respect it. And Miz seems more like a part-timer right now as he keeps going back to Hollywood every now and then.
Kind of like somebody else we know.
The Rock?
Yeah.
Right. Maybe The Rock took him underneath his wing.
Mr. Tooth Fairy.
Mr. Tooth Fairy, who knows? The U.S. title is also up for grabs. Sheamus versus Cesaro. I think it's time for Cesaro.
I am going to agree with you on that one. I am a big Sheamus supporter, but I do think that Cesaro is going to get a push. So I'm going to go with Cesaro.
It's Cesaro's time. Cesaro has the creed, the track record behind him. He's even before he went to WWE, he was Claudio Castiglione in Ring of Honor, and he was tearing it up over there. I heard a lot. I have an old video of him from Ring of Honor, as a matter of fact, back at the house, just enjoying it.
The Cesaro swing.
The Cesaro swing, the king of swing himself. That is, I would not want that done to me.
Heck no. Hey, we saw what happened to Titus.
Right? I don't want to be another Titus, that's for sure.
Nope.
Yeah, I want my Thanksgiving dinner to stay where it belongs, and not all over a third row. That being said, also we have Y2J, Chris Jericho, seeking some retribution against Randy Orton for the attack backstage.
Y2J.
You think Y2J? I'm going to differ with you. I'm going to say Orton. Because Y2J has to go on tour with Fozzy at some point.
That is true. I understand he's got a tour coming up, but I would just like to see Randy Orton get a beat down. But then again, don't forget, we could have some McManigans.
Definitely.
With the Authority. So.
With the Authority. The Authority comes out, lays waste to Jericho, and now he can go ahead and go off and do his Fozzy tour.
So that might be his swan song.
If
we have some McManigans, that'll be his way out to go do his tour.
Way out to go do his tour. And, of course, there's always the rematch for another 2 or 3 months from now when his tour is complete and he comes back.
But I'm going to say Y2J still, but we may see some McManigans.
We may see some with McManigans. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. There's 2 out of the 3 members of the Shield going at it in a one-on-one affair. Like I said before, in order to keep this man, keep his push going and his momentum going, he needs to constantly win. At least not get defeated in some peculiar fashion. They're also hinting to a possibility of Dean Ambrose returning.
I have not heard that. That was just.
I heard a little teaser about that.
I like to see it. I like Dean Ambrose.
Like the crazy guys.
Yeah.
We have a phone call here.
Oh, we have a phone call.
We have a phone call
Let's see,
here.
Jay, do you know how to answer the phone now, Jay?
Let's see. No, it's the blinking one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, not that one. No. You are live on the Squared Circle.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hey, it's Bill from North Haven. How are you guys?
Good. How are you, Bill?
Pretty good, Bill.
Not too bad, Figure I just got pulled up and started watching the show for a few minutes. Heard you talking about the Night of Champions. Do you guys see any big surprises coming out of that, match-wise, or maybe something that nobody's talking about?
Well, we were just mentioning that Nikki Bella got added to the Divas Championship match. And,
Yeah, I heard that. Yep.
And I suspect that she's probably going to win it so that the McMahons will have another belt under their wing,
Right.
being that she's with the Authority.
That
Oh,
it,
yeah,
it gives a little credence to her feud with her sister too.
Yeah, and then you got that angle when Daniel Bryan comes back too. That'd be a great angle.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you see any surprises, like maybe CM Punk making an appearance or anybody else?
I don't see CM Punk coming back right now.
Not yet.
Yeah. I heard there's something else going on. I was reading. I think you guys might have mentioned it that he's suing them because of the likeness for the video game. So I think they're going to probably cool that for a while. I don't think he's going to be coming back anytime soon.
Right. Not until that is settled one way or the other, because he feels as if he's entitled to some royalties. Because there's a lot of documentaries where they use his likeness on the network, in addition to that video game too. So.
Yeah. Do you see maybe like in the next few months anybody from NXT coming up?
We're talking about that for the tag belts because I understand the Ascension has been called up.
Yeah. What do you think of those guys?
Yeah, I don't know too much about them. They look pretty big. They just look like a couple Rybacks, if you ask me. I don't know.
I went back and I saw something and I pulled up a few things from YouTube and it kind of got that tone from I don't know if you remember the movie. I think it's The Underworld. It's kind of that vampires versus werewolves. It's got that kind of look to it, and that's their kind of look. So. They could do a couple of promos that I looked at too, and I was like, "Well, it's definitely interesting. It'd be interesting to see how they brought him in and what the angle would be."
Right, and if there's any team that's going to knock the Usos off, it's probably going to be them because they held the NXT belts for almost a year, I believe, or over a year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know you guys, but I'm not a huge Uso fan. It just seems like it's very forced, as far as what they do and. That's just my opinion. So.
I'd rather see them as heels, as like the Samoan Warriors, kind of like.
There's an idea that
like the Samoan SWAT team was, or the head shrinkers.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. I think that kind of role more fits the Usos than.
Yeah, I think that would liven things up a little too.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. Hey, where's your third party, John? Is he's taking a night off?
Taking a night off, a little under the weather, I understand.
Yeah, a little under the weather, so he didn't want to basically give it to us.
Right.
Which we thank him for.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, well, listen, I'll let you get on with your show. I'll keep listening. Bought my tickets for PWA show, so I'm waiting patiently for that date to come through and look forward to seeing you guys there and seeing the match for the Squared Circle TV title.
Yeah, I got some news about that too. It's no longer going to be in Hamden. It's been switched to Columbus Avenue, New Haven. Boys and girls.
Really?
Yeah, the Boys and Girls Club on Columbus Avenue in New Haven.
Oh, is there a reason why they did that, or?
I don't know. It just said unforeseen circumstances.
Right, unforeseen circumstances. But the address is, I think, 254. Is it? Let me see. I can tell you right now, 253 Columbus Avenue, New Haven Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, great. Thanks a lot. I would have been there wondering where the hell everybody was. So.
Right, definitely.
All right, guys. Listen, have a great night, and look forward to seeing the show next week.
Definitely.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you very much, Bill. The
Once
incomparable
again,
Bill
from
North.
North Haven, a weekly caller here on the Squared Circle.
Definitely. Getting back to Night of Champions, we have two more to get to. Mark Henry one-on-one with Rusev.
Well,
I think it's almost time for Rusev to start losing, but not quite yet. So I'm going to go with Rusev.
I like Rusev, so I'm going to say Rusev.
Alexander. They don't call him Alexander Rusev anymore. It's just Rusev.
Rusev.
Rusev, crush. Rusev, destroy. his girlfriend's, is that Lana's, man, never mind. Anyway.
I don't want to get myself in trouble, so.
Yeah. But now we have the main event of Brock Lesnar and John Cena.
I'm probably going to get myself in trouble now because when I show her this tape, she's going to get mad at me. But Carmen, I hate to say it, Brock Lesnar is going to destroy John Cena.
You really don't need to see the main event at Night of Champions if you've already seen SummerSlam. Now, I think Cena's going to put up more of a fight this time, though. But I don't see him winning.
You think he's going to get Cena-sized or something like in the Scooby-Doo movie?
He'll get Cena-sized. He's going to get more of the same of what happened to him at SummerSlam. He'll put up more of a fight this time, that's
Tossed
all.
around like a rag doll?
Brock might know that he's in a fight this time, but I think in the end he's going to pull it off.
Please do, Rock. Please.
Brock.
Slip of the tongue.
Not Rock, Brock.
Please do,
Big
Brock.
difference. Big difference. Don't ever make that same mistake again. I will call Mr. Heyman myself.
Please do, Brock.
He's
Do
going
us
to
a favor.
F5 you right out of that. Never mind.
Do us a favor, Brock, please.
Anyway, that's my prediction there. Moving right along, we want to wish well wishes to Ric Flair. He's undergoing successful surgery. This is according to WWE. It's going to cause him to lose. He's not going to be able to guest referee tonight at the SmackDown taping. He was scheduled to a special guest referee a bonus match between Roman Reigns and Randy Orton. The SmackDown taping tonight in Mississippi. So it didn't say exactly why Flair was hospitalized, but that he's doing well.
I did see something about it. I was going to ask you what it was all about.
They wouldn't go into any details, any specifics. I know he was supposed to be in. He was supposed to be the one at NXT to introduce the world to Kenta, and that never happened. Regal came out. But, you know, Ric Flair is one of my favorites, and, you know, he needs to just take a rest, you know, take care of himself instead of worrying about wrestling. I mean, we appreciate seeing him every now and then, but you got to, you know, worry about your
Everyone
health
loves
first.
the nature boy.
Exactly. Woo! Definitely. So that's my thoughts on that. So, you know, get well soon, Rick. Definitely. Another passing, though, during the week. Sad to report on the death of former WWE, WCW wrestler Sean O'Haire of an apparent suicide. Apparently, he could not, as according to TMZ, he could not kick an alcohol addiction problem. Apparently, he committed suicide this past week. He's been to WWE-sponsored rehab, which they will do for people. He's been to rehab 6 times over the last 6 years.
I did not recognize that name at first when I saw it.
He was, when Vince acquired WCW, Sean O'Haire and Chuck Palumbo were the WCW Tag Team Champions at the time. So, he brought them over to WWE as part of the, Invasion storyline. Mm-hmm. So, they brought them in as the WCW Tag Team Champions, and this is, been on a roll here with wrestler deaths. Not had that many in recent memory, except maybe the Warrior, of course, and then this.
We're all shocked about.
Still shocked about, definitely, but apparently he was found dead in his bedroom after hanging himself with a rope around the bedpost. WWE could not reach him to go for another stint in rehab. So our condolences to the O'Haire family.
Absolutely.
Definitely at this time.
Absolutely.
Another death way too young.
Way too soon.
Way too soon. Definitely. But getting to the takeover, of course. Did you happen to catch the NXT takeover special?
No, I have to go back and watch it on demand.
Lots of action. Lots of action. A lot more action than Raw or SmackDown. Triple H is so impressed with the NXT product. He's hoping that with the popularity of the network, he's hoping to make this a third brand and take it touring out outside of Full Sail University, where they're based out of now.
To be honest with you, I'd love to see that because the episodes of NXT that I have seen, I thoroughly enjoyed.
Definitely.
They do have some up-and-coming talent at NXT,
Right.
and I like to see, to see him more often.
Right. The good feature about that, and this is according to Triple H, it's going to give the talent a sense of purpose, and give them something to some sense of ownership, give them something to live up to, being a third brand. It's going to give the members of the Raw and SmackDown roster a chance to see who's coming up and who's going to be gunning for them in the future. As they'll get the chance to see them compete more, they'd probably be with them more often, being a third brand. As a lot of these guys, a lot of the mainstream guys might not get the chance to view footage of the people in NXT as much. So it'll be a good move. I have the results from the takeover, which was this past Thursday evening, September 11th.
Go right ahead.
Go right ahead. The dark match, Paige in a babyface role beat Becky Lynch with Rampage, of course. The tag team title match saw Kalisto and Sin Cara, an exciting Mexican tag team, or whatever they are. I think they are Mexican. Beat the Ascension to capture the belts. So the Luchadors reigning supreme over the Ascension. The Ascension, who I believe will defeat the Usos. They're going to be the ones called up from the main to the main roster to defeat the Usos in the near future. Also, they've made a big deal out of this guy. They sent Paul Heyman over there. They sent Hulk Hogan over there all the way to Japan when Kenta Kobayashi was signed. And this past Thursday evening at NXT TakeOver saw the debut, not the in-ring debut, but he was introduced to the world. Kenta was by the GM of NXT, William Regal. He is now taken on the WWE name of Hideo Itami. With apparently he had like a John Cena-like popularity over in Japan.
Probably more popular than
Maybe even more so. So I want you to remember the name Hideo Itami. I've heard a lot of great things about him myself. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him, and I think him being in NXT is just a mere formality.
Maybe he can team up in WWE with Brock Lesnar and destroy Cena.
I think, like I'm saying, he's just a formality of he's there because they have to put him there to begin with. But he will be in the main roster, my prediction, before the Royal Rumble. If he's as good as they say he is, which I'm sure everybody's telling me that.
Remember, folks, you heard that here first.
You heard that here first. Hideo Itami. Perhaps maybe even a winner. Maybe a future briefcase holder next year. Very, very possible. But he took out the Ascension with ease, with no problem, in street clothes.
Wow.
When the Ascension came out, and the Ascension, they're pretty big dudes. And they came out and tried to mess with this little Japanese guy, and guess what? Forget it.
I'm going to have to go back and watch this on demand.
You're going to thoroughly enjoy it. And remember the name, Hideo Itami, folks. The Women's Championship was also on the line. Charlotte defeated Bayley. And in an exciting four-way match, Charlotte, of course, is Ric Flair's daughter. Right. And an exciting four-way match for the NXT Championship saw Adrian Neville retaining over Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, and Tyson Kidd. The match went on for about 30 minutes. And like I said, Triple H has big plans for this NXT roster. He's planning to make it a third brand.
Looking forward to it.
Definitely. Kenta now, by the way, there are two others. There's a trio of new signees here to NXT. One of them is a gentleman who used to go by Prince Devitt. Now he's Virgil Devitt, I believe. And an ex-Ring of Honor man by the name of Kevin Steen.
Kevin Steen.
So anybody in ROH, very, very, very familiar with the Kill Steen Kill T-shirts. Of course, I think they're going to have to change that, obviously, because it's more G-rated here in the WWE. But Kevin Steen, I hear a lot about too. So look for them. Look for them. This is a sneak preview of the main roster, but perhaps in another year. Very, very exciting.
We'll have to see what comes of that, but sounds very intriguing, to say the least.
Say the least. I think we're going to do, with 15 minutes, we'll do the worst of the week here.
Absolutely.
I gotta have that guy from Brantford work on that.
What I wanted to ask you, I know, do I dare say it, but you said that TNA has gotten better the last couple of weeks?
This is an opinion of other people that were, other people in my family. That Aubrey last week mentioned watching TNA, and it's getting a little bit better. But they're still getting the bronze with me. They still have to amp it up a little more. They have to do something because, I mean, maybe I'm being wrong here. I haven't really watched TNA in a few weeks. Maybe I'm not being fair by saying that, but I'm still going to have to give them the bronze because the evidence still points to that.
I haven't really watched it myself in the last couple of weeks because I now have a prior commitment on Thursday nights. So
Well, you don't have to
usually
worry
not
about that
home.
because you know what? They're on Wednesday nights now.
It's on Wednesdays now.
It's been moved to Wednesday night. That's how long it's been since we've covered TNA here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. It means they're in competition with Double Trouble.
Yes, and we all know where I'm tuned to at 8
Right.
p.m. on
I
Wednesday
know.
nights.
You're gonna have to DVR TNA. Of course, TNA might be so bad that maybe your DVR won't even let you record it. It might have degenerated down. But I do have to give credit where credit is due. Specifically to Team 3D, Bully Ray and Devon, for training this man. He is a former military, U.S. military, who went to Desert Storm, and within, I forgot how many days he was being, 24 days, he lost one of his legs. He's got a prosthetic up to about here.
Yep.
And Team 3D trained this man how to wrestle, and he did a pretty good job. And even if he didn't do a good job, but which he did, I still give him credit for being in the ring, and I give them credit for training him. Sergeant Chris Melendez made his Impact debut last Wednesday night. And
Well, maybe I'll have to go back and watch it on demand. Is it on demand, do you know?
I do not know. I program it into my DVR.
I'll have to look when I go home and see if it's on demand. I'll have to watch it just for that. And while we're on that subject, I want to once again say what a fine piece that was last week with Roberto Gonzalez.
Roberto Gonzalez.
And I have issued him the invitation.
Mm-hmm.
And he will be a guest on Talking with Tom for my show in October. So we are going to make that happen.
Definitely. I'll be down here for that.
So, very inspirational story for anybody that didn't see it last week. But they can go to our Facebook page and see it on there as well.
John's interview with Roberto.
Yep.
At the PWA training camp last week. And, you know, it's just inspirational. Guys like this Chris Melendez, Roberto coming up, Zach Gowen, if you remember him.
Yes, of course.
Definitely, it inspires me. Definitely, you know, you know, and the things you do on a day-to-day basis, you do more than in a week than most people do.
I try anyway. I don't like to stay in the house, as you know,
Just
in the nice
constant
weather.
motion. Yeah, definitely.
You know, but I want to thank Aubrey once again for taking the reins last week, as I was unable to get down here, as you know.
Right. Right. I thought you were down in Miami or something.
Nah, those meddling kids.
Those meddling kids again. The meddling kids. We'll have to take care of those meddling kids too. Runner-up. Now this is a weird story. Triple H has put it out there, not just to all wrestlers, to all athletes in the entire world, to come down and be trained at the Performance Center. And they put an inquiry out to a German goalkeeper, football player, international football player named Tim Weiss. And he's looking over this potential inquiry right now to possibly come in and become a WWE superstar. I'm just thinking of this. Remember the World Cup of Soccer?
Yep.
And it goal. I don't want to see the soccer gimmick in wrestling.
No, that'll be a little annoying.
I think so. I think having somebody come out, I think having like a manager come out and do that as he was going to the ring. Go! I don't know. I'm just giving that the runner-up. But the worst of the week, and I'm so sick of hearing this. I mean, the McMahons may be a lot of things, but clairvoyant is not one word to describe Vince McMahon. That's for sure. He's not somebody that can just peer into, he can't make psychic predictions. He just can't. And the statements that he made about being able to secure a network deal, a lucrative one for NBC Universal, it's something he thought he could do, and evidently he didn't. So with that in mind, there's this stockholder named Curtis Swanson. He's filed a lawsuit. He's named WWE CEO Vince McMahon and financial exec George Barrios. Swanson claims WWE has violated the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 by driving up the stock price on the basis of misinformation about WWE's ability to negotiate the new TV contract.
Oh my God.
Right. They just made predictions. That's all they made. They predicted with they thought not that the network is not successful. They just figured they would gain, acquire all this money from it a lot sooner than they're acquiring the money from it. And that's the whole thing.
And of course, you can watch the pay-per-views and everything on the network for just $9.99.
That's like blaming Erica Martine for the snowstorm.
Yep. Speaking of which, did you see their new promo they ran during Raw last night for the network?
Yes. Pretty interesting.
I was laughing watching it. I thought it was pretty comical.
Right.
$9.99.
Now they need a jingle out of it.
Yep.
Maybe that should have been worst of the week. It was a little lame. It was a little lame, but a little funny. I mean, they're just doing what they can to entice the viewers. That's for sure. A lot of footage on that network.
Absolutely.
I'm running through all the old nitros.
Yeah, I only saw part of the first episode so far. I gotta go back and finish watching.
I've been watching the NWO stuff.
Yeah, I bet you that's quite funny to watch now, huh?
I know. Looking back at it. I'm thoroughly enjoying the nitros. I'm thoroughly enjoying Monday Night War so far. I got through the second episode so far.
Now, the first season of Total Divas is also on there, right?
The first season of Total Divas, they have reality shows on there. They have the Total Divas. They have Legends House, of course.
I'm hoping that comes back for another season. I really enjoyed Legends House.
It was different. Different way to view the Legends. Giving you a different side of the story.
It'll be interesting to see if and when they come back, who they get for this season.
There's so many possibilities out there. There's so many legends in wrestling. Possibilities are endless.
Absolutely.
Right. So, Mr. Curtis Swanson, you are the worst of the week. Just drop the lawsuit. I'm sure you have enough money as it is, buddy. What are you going to do with it anyway? Go buy another house?
What do they think? Vince's Karnak
I know.
from Johnny Carson days?
I know, really. There's no way of actually going into the future to find out.
He had a sealed envelope in a mayonnaise jar on Funkin' Wagnall's porch.
Right? Who knows? But getting to the indie news, like we said when Bill called, September 27th, PWA has been moved from the Balcony Banquet Facility in Hamden all the way to the Boys and Girls Club of New Haven, 253 Columbus Avenue. I promise I won't get lost now. Matt Stryker is out due to contractual obligations, so taking his place, taking on Mr. Boldred, of course, will be L. Leon Apollo with DG Haven. And in a semifinal match for the television title, the Squared Circle
television title.
television title. Now, I don't know what's going on with Saru. I really don't. Maybe he's still in the tournament. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to find out a little more for next week. But newcomer Troy Stevens debuts against A.R. Fox in a semi-final match for the Squared Circle television title.
So this will be a tournament.
This is turned into a
for
tournament
our Squared Circle.
for our Squared Circle title.
Like I told you last time I was here, my money is on Saru.
My money's on anybody else but a B-plus monkey, because if you're going to give the B-plus monkey our TV title, the next thing you know, he's going to be the PWA champion.
Come on, Saru.
And a B-plus monkey is not what's best for business.
I think that monkey's going to make a monkey out of you.
And not only that, he never accepted my ice bucket challenge. I have not heard one word from that man at all about the ice bucket challenge.
Do you speak monkey?
I don't speak monkey. I speak English. I'm picking up a little of that Tagalog language too, but that's another story. Also, with 90 seconds to go, you remember the old NEFW?
Yes.
You remember Chicopee?
Yes.
I mean, the days we actually made it to the facility. Big Trouble in Little Chicopee, October 10th at the Boys and Girls Club. That's RPW, Revival Pro Wrestling.
Interesting.
We'll have to go pay Mr. Newton a visit, perhaps. Get in touch with him one more time.
Interesting.
But we have to wrap things up, Mr. Dacey.
Thank you, Jay.
Definitely. Great show.
And rest in peace, Kevin Tennyson.
Definitely,
We
sir.
miss you and love you.
Miss you and love you, sir. I'm Hollywood J. Williams.
I'm Thunderous Tom Dacey.
Good night and good luck.
See you next Tuesday.